Welcome back to Ringer Tailgate, the Wednesday edition of the show. We are fired up. We got Joel Anderson back in the building. Happy to have him here. Van Lathan in studio as always. And before we get into this show, because we got a lot to get to, of course, Brian Kelly, ding dong,
Tough.
The witch is dead. And we have to give some credit here to Van Lathan. I don't know if it was hoodoo or voodoo on both sides, Van. I wanted to get your reaction on this because I've had some people reach out to me. They said Van was using hoodoo, not voodoo. Voodoo is like the standardized version of this, and hoodoo is more of like the practical day-to-day. But I wanted to turn to you. You want to give credit to hoodoo, not voodoo, correct?
Yeah, I never said voodoo. Hoodoo.
Okay, I said voodoo. That was the
Yeah.
problem. I got called out for it, yes.
Yeah, hoodoo is root work and energy manipulation, and that is what we do. I don't know my mom to be a voodoo practitioner, but hoodoo is something that we did. We had to get it, and things have to get worse before they get better, but we are on the path.
And we're on a great path right now. So I wanted to shout out that was a big moment, obviously, for the show. Shout out to Van. Shout out to Van's mom, of course. And let's say what's up to Joel Anderson, who is in a Tiger costume, looking like the #1 LSU fan. Joel, what's going on? How you doing, man?
Well, I am the #1 LSU fan. And I thought we had talked about doing a Halloween show. Isn't Halloween on Friday? We're not having Halloween.
I'm dressed up as Kalen DeBoer. I got my black pullover on. There you go.
Yeah, my understanding was that we were dressing up for a Halloween show. But, I guess that didn't work out. But either way, I am still the #1 LSU fan. I go all the way back to, my boy Kevin Falk, could go all the way back to that.
Okay.
Herb Tyler.
Okay.
I mean, I might even throw a little Billy Cannon on y'all.
Nice.
Billy Cannon, a former Houston Oiler. So yeah, I go all the way back with John
the
Ed
old
Bradley.
counterfeiter. Old counterfeiter, Billy Cannon.
The old counter. That's right. John Ed Bradley. It never rains in Tiger Stadium. So yeah, I know all about it, man. I've been there since the beginning. My family's from South Louisiana. So yeah, I'm one of the biggest fans there is, man.
This is Ringer Tailgate presented by FanDuel, and if you're betting on college football, FanDuel's the place to do it. They've got everything. Same-game parlays, quick bets for when you want to jump in live, and futures available all season long to make your playoff predictions. The app's fast, it's easy to use, and best of all, when you win, you get paid out instantly. Download the FanDuel app or go to FanDuel.com/tailgate to get started. The Ringer is committed to responsible gaming. Please visit rg-help.com to learn more about the resources and helplines available, and listen to the end of the episode for additional details. Must be 21 or older in present and select states and 18 and older in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Well, in case you missed it, the big news is here. We're going to start there. One big reaction. The big reaction is Brian Kelly is no longer the head coach of the LSU Tigers. The national nightmare for many down in Louisiana is officially over with, and now we have a conversation about the #1 job in college football because there's a lot of people, a lot of contenders that are chirping about their potential to take over the job. We got former retreads like an Ed Orgeron who says, hey, I'm ready. Give me the phone call. Nick Saban might get a phone call. We got, coordinators in the NFL, whether it's Shepard, whether it's Joe Brady, that could be in the mix. We obviously have the Lane Kiffin conversation. We got a lot to get to, but before we get to what the future looks like, let's start with the present right now. Let's do one big reaction. Brian Kelly is fired. Van, I'll go to you first. What did you feel when you saw that headline for the first time?
I knew that was going to happen. You guys have to understand what happened Saturday night. Saturday night was not an LSU loss to Texas A&M. Texas A&M conquered Baton Rouge on Saturday night. And losing a game is one thing, but having your culture conquered is a completely different thing. I mentioned this before, but if you guys ever watch Game of Thrones and you watched the North, right, where the Stark family reigned, the seat of the North is Winterfell. And when the Boltons conquered Winterfell, they hung the banner of the flayed man over the side of Winterfell, and the entire audience went, oh, shit. They're in your castle doing whatever it is that they want to do. It was a crazy moment for the whole audience, this family, this culture, this group of people that have become synonymous with this area, to watch somebody else go over there and conquer it. And you thought to yourself, what set of circumstances, like how deep is the shit that we are in the North for Winterfell to have been conquered by Ramsey Bolton and the Boltons? Ramsey and his dad and all of those people. It deepened it to see that happen. And that's what happened on Saturday night, right? Of course, the Stars end up getting Winterfeld back. And when they get it back, there's not even this big, huge parades and this. They just hang the banner of the direwolf back over the side of the castle, and everything feels right with the world. That is essentially what the next LSU coach is going to have to do. They're going to have to re-hang the banners back over the side of Tiger Stadium, because losing the game is one thing, but having them come in and send our guys running, send our boys to the locker room, there was disarray. Frank Wilson is trying to get the players on the field for the alma mater. Brian Kelly has left the field. Like, he has to be called back. The players have to be called back. There is dancing. Like, shout out to my man Preston Guy. He tweeted, he says, Baton Rouge has fallen. And look, this sounds stupid to you guys. I get it. I know it sounds stupid. I understand that it sounds stupid. It's just not. It's not stupid. We take it seriously.
I don't think it's stupid.
Like we take it seriously. This means something to us. I don't know if it means more in the SEC. That's a slogan. But I motherfucking damn sure know that it means more in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And it's one thing to lose, but to have somebody come in there and do what they did Saturday night, y'all can say what the fuck y'all. We're not going for that. We're not.
And troll them after the game, right? With the Get the Gat celebration, right?
That's
a lot of
fine.
stuff going
like
on.
if we beat Texas A&M like that and we had to do a dance, we wouldn't even know what dance to do. So I mean, like that's fine. Like, they run, they can talk their shit, but them doing the Get the Gat dance just reiterates, like Ryan Clark said, the presence of LSU and the culture that LSU has and how it's represented across football. Every time somebody do a gritty, you own LSU dick. Every time one of your people gritties, we made that up. That comes from us. Like a lot of this stuff, all of that, that's LSU. And that's the culture that we're talking about. And we take that seriously, and it means something to us. Like I said before, it's one of the only unifying things that we have in our state. So when that falls, the person that's in charge of it is going to fall too, and that's what happened to Brian Kelly.
Well, that was very passionate, and I understand that, that Van has wanted this, that he wanted Brian Kelly to leave, and he was not satisfied with the product on the field.
Van, you deserve credit. You did this. Yeah. We did this on the show.
Root work, hoodoo.
Yeah.
Had to happen. Had to happen.
Very, and look, as myself, LSU fan, remembers the Mike Archer and Curly Hallman and Jerry DiNardo years, restoring the culture of the LSU that I grew up with. I understand that Brian Kelly, I
can't get over this costume.
That Brian Kelly, failed to live up to the wonderful standards of those gentlemen right there, right? But more important than that, I think what kind of has taken my breath away is I didn't realize people disliked Brian Kelly this much, right? Like, I knew that he was a reviled figure. Like, anytime you tweet about Brian Kelly, there'll be somebody from Notre Dame that will remind you of what happened 15 years ago when he sent DeClan Sullivan up on the thing at practice and he died in a tragic accident, right? Like, people will remind you of that over and over again about Brian Kelly, that he's partially responsible for that. And that we find out, he didn't treat people very well. And people are coming out and saying that, and you can look online and see that people are not they're basically celebrating that the man got fired. But, the reason I jokingly suggest Art Briles as a candidate for these open jobs is because he's not really that much worse than some of the guys that we look fondly upon. Like, I'm generally cynical about head coaches, and some of that is my own experience through the game and as both a player and covering it, right? So you really can't surprise me with stories about their narcissism or sociopathy or any of that stuff. Like, Lou Holtz cut an ad for Jesse Helms in his office. We know what happened under Joe Paterno. Bobby Brown's attitude toward rape reflected in the people that he's defended and protected isn't one that reflects on him very well. And I should say here, the guys that I had the privilege of playing for, Pat Sullivan, Dennis Franchione, were actually good men as far as I could tell. Like, I have nothing bad to say about them. But I'm just thinking about the stories that are coming out about Brian Kelly, man. Like, there's that ESPN story that people are referring back to, as Robert Saleh and Matt LaFleur talking about they were grad assistants at Central Michigan and thought they were going to a party at Brian Kelly's house, and it was like the old McDowell's joint at the McDowell's Christmas party and Coming to America. It's like, oh no, actually, you guys
guys are
about to
shoveling
start
snow.
parking
You're
cars.
parking cars.
Parking cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like Brian Kelly did that in real life. He was the real Cleo McDowell, right? We've heard from Kyron Lacey's dad that Brian Kelly never reached out to him or the family, man, which is like, wow, that's shocking to me, right? But I think it's just kind of weird that if he just won a few more games, man, if things looked a little bit differently, if Nuss was more healthy, if he had more reinforcements for an offensive line that was good last year but is poor this year, that a lot of this stuff just doesn't come up, man. And then I'm just like the guys that people that, you know, that are beloved at LSU now, like Les Miles, right, lost his job at Kansas because of his behavior with women in Baton Rouge, right? Like they would not allow him around co-eds for 3 years before he got fired. Look, man, Coach O seems like a fun guy, but like he has stuff in his background where he ignored a 74-year-old woman's allegation of being sexually harassed by Darius Geis. Frank Wilson, if you look up his case right now at LSU, you can look it up. I'm not saying this to make it less fun, and I'm not really defending Brian Kelly, but I know we're all in this for the wins and losses and fun and shit talking and all that stuff. But I just don't think Brian Kelly is the worst person in the history of college football, and it feels like he's been treated that way. Maybe he needs to work on his interpersonal communication skills. I don't think he's going to probably coach again, but it just feels like, for some perspective, there are more people that are detestable than Brian Kelly in college football. And I just kind of feel like I didn't see that reflected in the past few days.
So a couple of things here. One, that's another reason why this is such a nut kick to the people at LSU, is because I constantly heard about what an asshole Brian Kelly was from everyone. Everybody. Shout out to my man, Mecca. Mecca's my guy. I got him blocked right now on Twitter. But that's my man. It's like my guy. Everybody, they hated Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's an asshole or whatever. That's been around. People have talked about it for a long time. I have a news flash for other people that are watching this that might not know. Men who behave badly in all different walks of life are typically given passes if they are hyper successful. If you were to talk about Bill Clinton, if you were to talk about Steve Jobs, if you were to talk about Bill Gates, if you were to talk about any number of highly successful men, you are going to hear stories about these highly successful men and how their type A personalities go from criminal to this guy's a real drag to be around. So the fact that a successful person or a person that's in charge of people's emotions on one day of the week is given a pass for their personal peccadillos because they're good at what they do is a tale as old as time, and it has existed everywhere. College football is just another, whether it's the director, whether it's the producer, whether it's whatever. What you can hope is that these people that we're talking about don't put people in situations where they are unsafe, as in the case of Jerry Sandusky, in the case of some people say about Art Briles or whomever else it will be, or some of the other men that you just mentioned. That's a completely different other thing, something that people should not excuse in any way, shape, or form. That's what you hope. But as far as these guys being who they are, remember, Jimbo Fisher, everybody's talking about Nick Saban. Jimbo Fisher went public a couple of years ago talking about how terrible of a person he thinks Nick Saban is. That's Jimbo Fisher's opinion of Nick Saban. I don't try to litigate which one of these guys is the greatest guy. Man, I hope that there are gentlemen involved in these conversations. I hope anywhere that young men, young people are being guided, that these people are gentlemen and they care about what kind of people that they're making. That's one thing. We can put that to the side, right? Clay Helton, from all accounts and purposes, and for all accounts, should I say, is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. They got Clay Helton the fuck up out of there because he didn't win enough football games, right? Don't know all of the stuff that happened in Notre Dame, all this other stuff I'd always heard about it. We heard the jokes. We heard the conversation about Brian Kelly, and we defended him because he was our coach. Mm-hmm. We defended him against the Notre Dame people who were super upset and turned out to be 100% right about him. We defended him for all the people, and then Brian Kelly did not put as much into us as we did in him. Brian Kelly is the guy who you hear about wasn't really locked in with the recruiting or was playing golf and all of that stuff. So we take our coaches seriously and we protect our coaches no matter what kind of guys that they are. We hope that they're good guys. But at the same time, there's a sweat equity that's in exchange for that, and it doesn't seem like Coach Kelly was about that.
It's so.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
No, go ahead, Tate. Go ahead, Tate.
No, I was just going to say, it does feel like one of those things, too, where all these stories are coming out, and it does feel like, yes, Brian Kelly has had this very checkered past, to say the least, with all these different stories. But, I mean, just with the LSU version of it, it really started off on the wrong foot. He goes to that basketball game. He does the family Southern impersonation, right? That was very strange. He also promises that they're going to win every game that they play. He then, from there moves on and is basically like doing this strange recruiting video. So from the jump, it was very awkward. And I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on like when it really went off the rails. Yes, he's playing a lot of golf. Yes, he fired coordinators that he probably shouldn't have. I mean, Denbrock's in his wedding, for God's sakes, and he fires him, and now he's at Notre Dame doing great things. So, I mean, there's so many missteps along the way. But, like, when did he officially get off the rails where it's like there's no way he gets back on the rails? In your opinion, Van, I'll go to you first, then we'll go back and work through this.
Well, the hires were bad. A couple of the guys that he fired, people are talking about the Tommy Moffitt thing. Tommy Moffitt is a legendary strength coach.
With A&M, who got to basically dance on his grave this weekend, right?
Right. Tommy Moffitt, legendary. And Brian Kelly fired him. There are a lot of people who can, bring up the fact that prior to Brian Kelly arriving in Baton Rouge, that there were LSU teams that were straight up getting punked, and Tommy Moffitt was a strength coach there. If I would have retained Corey Raymond. I would have retained Tommy Moffitt. I think those guys were an integral part of the culture that LSU had built. But it was not like at that particular point when we were getting beat on the back end of the defense and getting pushed around that those guys were untouchable. I think that if he would have asked around and taken a little bit more stock into the culture, he would have seen how much they mean to LSU, and maybe he wouldn't have made the moves that he made. The Mike Denbrock situation is another situation. I've talked to people who straight up say that Brian Kelly chose Joe Sloan over Mike Denbrock, or maybe that it wasn't even Brian Kelly who chose him. It was people around Joe Sloan that Joe Sloan was insulated with and that Joe Sloan knew, that made it so that Brian Kelly had to bring Joe Sloan in and elevate him to a point to where he was on the same level as Mike Denbrock. I've heard this story told a bunch of different ways. The reality is that Mike Denbrock is a much, much, much better veteran offensive coordinator than Joe Sloan is. And so when you put the players on the field and you ask somebody to call plays and be in charge of the offense, you're rolling the dice with Joe Sloan and you're leaning into a proven commodity with Mike Denbrock. It's a mistake. And that is one thing. All of this stuff is what it is. You could argue it out, Sometimes you take a chance on a young coordinator and it works out. Sometimes you take a chance on a new defensive coordinator or somebody, you give that job to Matt House and it works out. Those things are things that you hope coaches can see. It's a part of their expertise. But there's one thing that to me is more alarming than any of this other stuff. So many LSU players, shout out to Colin Hurley and some of the guys who have it, right? But so many of the LSU players, big time, prominent LSU players, have taken this opportunity to dance on the grave of their former head coach. Man, when some of these other guys were in trouble, that did not happen. The players did not react to Les Miles being canned like that. It did not happen.
Or Coach O.
Or Coach O. They didn't react to that.
Malik Neighbors is kicking rocks on his Instagram story.
Not just Malik Neighbors. So many guys that are looking at this as something that is vindicating for them. We're talking about guys who transferred out of LSU. Dwight McLaughlin, a guy who we could have really used, who turned into a fantastic cornerback. All of that. That tells me that there was some glitch. If you remember Charles Turner, who started on the offensive line for LSU, said, I played for Brian Kelly for a long time. He never really talked to me. We didn't really have that type of relationship. 2 years ago, he says, that's probably not going to work at LSU. That's something that he might want to work on. So there was obviously something that was going on to where there was a glitch in the translation between what the head coach was doing and who the players felt like they were playing for. So, that to me has been the thing to where I'm like, whoa, they're happy he's gone. And that says something.
I absolutely support players coming out and airing their shit out. Like, that is really important. And I know that certainly in the past, it hadn't been up until recently, that they've had some sort of leverage once they've signed their, letter of intent, right? Because usually once you sign your letter of intent, you kind of signed your rights away, and you basically subject to the whims of whatever the coach is. So I can understand like why a lot of this stuff doesn't come out, because once you're on the team, like you usually didn't have an avenue. But this is why, you just more generally, like the freedom of player movement, the transfer portal, that's why I think it's great, because so many kids have been in situations like this in the past and really didn't have any avenue. Like they just had to wait it out or hope that, they sit out a year and transfer someplace else. So I'm glad about that. Again, though, if they had lost 19-18, and I know they didn't, if they had lost 19-18, I just wonder how different all of this would have been, man. Like what the reaction would have been. Would Brian Kelly have survived? Like it's a 1-game sample in 4 years. Although people are looking at the sample and they're looking at the program. They're looking at the program. They're looking at a one. And so it's a one. He got fired based on what if they win that game, man. That's all I'm just saying. It's a totally different situation, right? Right, he doesn't get fired if he loses. If he beats A&M, right?
Okay, so let's put things into context. So LSU does not get Bryce Underwood, right? So they don't get Bryce Underwood. So there's something that's called the $1 million match that happens, and I'll give Coach Kelly credit for this. He matches $1 million into the NIL fund, right? LSU then goes and spends all kinds of money in NIL on transfers, brings in a lot of guys, Bauer Sharp, Monsieur Delane, Jack Pyburn. Like there's a lot of guys that are on the team right now that are brand new, right? We spend all of this money, poor State on the football team, and the football team was set to be out of playoff contention before November. If he had lost the game and it was a close game and a tight game, and it would have not been the spiral that it ended up being, is it possible that Brian Kelly would still be the coach of LSU right now? Yeah, it is. But there would still be a conversation being had. There would still be a conversation being had right now on what this guy needs to win in Baton Rouge, because this was supposed to be a year. A lot of people picked LSU, not a lot of people, some people picked LSU to win a national championship this year. I never did, because the first team that wins a national championship with a terrible patchwork offensive line, the next team that wins the national championship with a terrible patchwork offensive line will be the first team that wins the national championship with a terrible patchwork offensive line. So I thought that the team could cover up the offensive line and maybe get to a point where they were a playoff team, 2-loss playoff team. But I didn't think that they had enough to go against some of these other gigantic teams that are really well put together and win. But still, though, the expectation going into this year was that it was a make-or-break year. Now, when you combine that with the fact that not only did you lose, but you got housed, it was time to go. But the losses were still mounting. And, might I add, they weren't necessarily over. That was a team that you still had to take to Tuscaloosa. That was a team that still has to play Oklahoma. That was a team that still had the opportunity not to have a bad season, but a disastrous season. And I think that a lot of people were just wondering, when is it going to happen? We had a fantastic offense, a national championship offense with Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., all kinds of dogs everywhere, Mason Taylor. But we couldn't get the defense right to where we could stop anyone to take advantage of it, and we couldn't be an elite team. It seemed as if a lot of people were wondering, was it ever going to happen for LSU? And we lost faith. And then Saturday happened.
Can I to pivot away from that, because I know that Van has his finger on the pulse of the program, right? Even though I am the LSU fan here today to show him
right. Even though you're the number one guy.
Even though the number one guy. I know that people are going to differ with me on this, but I've always thought that this was a really strange response. Man, I thought BK trying to do that voice, my family, was sort of endearing, because I meant he was trying, man. Sometimes when you get to a place and when you're in a place and you're around people that is not your a culture that's not your own, a home that is not your own, you try to like settle in to like show, hey, I'm okay with y'all. Like I know where you're coming from. And I just thought, I was like, man, people really dumped on him. But it's all a testament to how much people dislike him. And what do they say in church? Favor ain't fair, right? He didn't have a lot of that. And so I just think that people were inclined.
From the jump, though, LSU was like, we're basically doing a deal with the devil. And as
Right.
long as the devil wins, then we're okay. But when the devil's not winning and he's being a jerk, and I think really the moment for me was when Nussmeier gets pulled from that game. And Nussmeier is just disgusted with him. It's just like this team hates him. You know what I mean? Like the former players hate him, the current players hate him. Like how do you move forward at that point?
Yeah.
I saw little things. That's what I'll say. I mean, the voice didn't bother me. I thought it was funny. The dancing on, the twerking on the recruit, I thought this stuff was cringe, but it wasn't something that I was like, oh my God, it's disqualifying. It wasn't something to where
I thought he was trying.
It wasn't. It didn't.
Trying to
it's whatever.
assimilate.
What matters to me is what happens on the field. But there were two things that I saw that I was like, huh. One of them is something that I sent to my friend Carter Bryant, Carter the Power, on LSU YouTuber. There was a segment where it's from the spring or from the fall, where Garrett Nussmeier is mic'd up and LSU is we're following our quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, he's mic'd up. At the end of this, Brian Kelly is trying to talk to Garrett Nussmeier. He's coaching him on something. They're at practice. Garrett Nussmeier is watching the twos work. And something happens on the field. And Brian Kelly, while he's trying to talk to Garrett Nussmeier and tell Garrett Nussmeier stuff and have a little moment with him, Garrett Nussmeier goes, "Coach." And then he starts running down the field, like after the play. And I was like, huh, interesting. It was interesting that he kind of in that moment kind of pulled away from the guidance or the counsel of his coach and it was boys being boys. If you know Nuss, that's kind of his personality. Not that big of a deal. But then I thought about something else that I saw at the NFL draft. Will Campbell is at the NFL draft. He gets drafted. He leaves and he's walking out the back of the thing after he's getting drafted. Brian Kelly is there with him. He kind of reaches out his hand to try to dap Will Campbell up, or he's right there. Will takes the time to really have an embrace with 3 or 4 different people, right, that are seemingly in his inner circle. Here it is right here. Here it is. You watch. He's dapping people up. He's doing this whole nine. Look where Brian Kelly is. Like, look where Brian Kelly is.
Brian Kelly actually does he kind of takes his hand and puts it like he's wiping his hair. He does a little, tries to catch it.
Look at this. Look, Brian Kelly is in the background. He points and then he's not in anywhere. He's a guy just watching his dude. I looked at that and I'm like, that's odd. And I tweeted about it when it happened. I was like, did Will Campbell just diss Brian Kelly? Did he just, or even if he didn't diss him, he didn't give a fuck that he was there.
Right. And super Louisiana kid, too.
Yeah. Like, right, that played for his state, started as a freshman. He kind of didn't even care that his coach was there. There was no moment between them. And it doesn't mean everything, but it doesn't mean nothing. I was just kind of like, huh, interesting.
I want to, now I feel like I feel the urge to, now we brought this up, when Jaden Daniels won the Heisman, did he hug Brian Kelly?
Don't remember, but I know that Brian Kelly was right there. I really don't remember. And look, these things are, I'm not going back and I tweeted about it then, and I actually had some people that were in the sphere hit me up and go, yeah, it's kind of how it is, right? I tweeted about it then, but at the same time, like, that's not everything, but once again, it's not nothing. There was some type of wedge in between Brian Kelly and his team and the culture of people in South Louisiana. It wasn't connecting. And once you realize that it's not going to connect, fucking get rid of it. Don't do another year. Don't stay in the bad relationship 1 second longer than you have to. And so I'm not happy that this man lost his job. I'm not happy that people now, because there are going to be staff changes that have to be made and all of that stuff. But it wasn't working. So what you going to do?
And he's part of one of the largest buyouts in college football history, so he's going to be all right. $53.8 million. Jimbo Fisher, obviously $76.8 million. James Franklin, $49 million. So, I mean, Brian Kelly will get his money. There was a negotiation there for the buyout, right? He's getting $800,000 a month for some sort of morality clause, which is another layer of the whole conversation. There also, this was all decided at the governor's mansion in Louisiana, apparently on Sunday, which is, it goes all the way to the top of the state with the decision to get rid of Brian Kelly. So that's how much these people, to go back to Joel's big reaction, the most hated man in Louisiana obviously is Brian Kelly. And we get the last shot of him at Superior Grill by himself, getting, food by himself, right? I mean, it was like he had nobody around him. He's the most isolated man in Louisiana.
I thought so. Superior is a Shreveport-based chain because they had it when I lived in Shreveport.
It's all over, right? I mean,
yeah, I didn't realize it was in Baton Rouge, and I was like, okay, that's a good place to go get some margaritas and some food. That's a nice little Mexican joint.
But by yourself, I mean, to me, like that shot was like that.
I mean, what did Joe
thing.
Flacco say the other day, man? Sometimes you look at a man, you see, and you look sad. Sometimes
he was talking about Brian Kelly.
The best. Sometimes the best meal you have are the ones you have alone, man.
You know what's crazy? It's Superior Grill is in the Krispy Kreme family for me. You know why? So there's a Krispy Kreme on Plank Road right before you get to Airline. And, man, for a long time, I thought we was the only place that had Krispy Kreme.
Hey, Krispy Kreme's in North Carolina.
I thought Krispy Kreme was a Louisiana thing.
No, it's
like I thought because that Krispy Kreme that's on Plank right before you get to Airline, that bitch old. So, like, I thought y'all know the Krispy Kremes where you go and they got, like, the donut assembly line where you can see them making the donuts.
So
Not all of them are like that anymore, but there's one of them, because the one out here in Burbank is like you can go there and they got the donut assembly line Krispy Kreme. You can watch them making them.
Got the Hot Now sign.
The Hot Now sign and all of that. Because there's 2 Krispy Kremes that they have here that I know of that I go to. One is in Burbank, okay? And then the other one is, I think it's on Crenshaw and King. And, yeah, nigga. Go down there and get the donuts. Like, you know what I'm saying? I fuck with it. I go there all the time. I love it down there. I play ball down there, but sometimes you tell people to go to the Krispy Kreme down there and they don't want to go.
First time when I remember when Krispy Kreme came out, it was like 98 in Texas, and they built it in Arlington, Texas. And I'll never forget, I was driving down, I think it was Cooper Road, which is near like the Parks at Arlington Mall. It's a big mall there. And you drive by it, and I was like, man, this car's lined up here like it's a club. It was like cars all the way down the street, like maybe 3/4 of a mile. That line was long, bro. But I was like, man, anything that people are waiting for that much, it must be good. So I took my car, my happy ass, waited in line, got 24 donuts, and ate them all in one weekend, man. That's it.
I mean, when they're hot and they're fresh, they melt in your mouth. I mean, you could eat like 12 of them.
I was like, this is worth the hype. I was sick. I mean, that's disgusting. That is
really
disgusting.
Brian Kelly should have gone to Krispy Kreme, is what we're saying. If I was Brian Kelly, I would have gone to Krispy Kreme.
He could follow it up after that Superior thing, man. He had the margaritas get him right, and then the next get the little donuts.
I mean, the Superior Grill is tight, but I didn't know they had them everywhere. I thought it was I thought it was a Baton Rouge thing.
Big place in Shreveport, man. We would go there all the time for stuff. Yeah, it's a nice place. Very nice.
2 things I wanted to bring up. Still talking about Brian Kelly. One, Windward, the AD. Obviously, he does the Jimbo deal and the buyout.
Woodward.
He does the Brian Kelly deal and the buyout. But he's also phasing out of this situation, so there's going to be some powers that be that are involved in the next iteration of this. And then I found this fascinating. Shane Beamer was talking about the SEC coaches. They have a group chat, right? So they're all in it together, all the head coaches. He said Lane Kiffin's always in there making jokes, like making, little commentary, sending tweets or whatever. Do you think they kick Brian Kelly out of the group chat, like immediately?
Oh, shit.
Oh, hell yeah.
When do you do that, though?
That's the question I wanted to ask you guys. Like, when do you kick Brian Kelly out of the group chat, and who does it? Is it Lane Kiffin? Because
You have to announce it,
definitely
right?
Lane Kiffin.
Have y'all ever kicked anybody out of a group chat? Because you kind of got to tell them, right? Well, unless they leave under very bad circumstances. Like
We've been a part of a group chat where people have gotten kicked out recently.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. That's true. That's true. Nobody said anything to them neither. It was just kind of like, all right, they ain't in here.
It's
no
cold-blooded.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. What's
I've never
protocol?
kicked anybody out. I've left the group chat myself. Sometimes I just look around and I go, man, y'all full of bullshit, and I just leave the group chat. When I leave a group chat, I don't like to make a big deal about it. Just Van has left the chat. And that right there, that's enough. But I've never kicked anybody out of one. How do you kick somebody out of the group chat? Can you do, if you made the group chat, you can take anybody out of it?
I think you can be made the admin, or if you created the group chat, you are, I think, by proxy the admin, so you can kick someone out. So I just find that fascinating that someone had to kick Brian Kelly out of the group chat, and I just think that's so funny.
Yeah, man.
He probably left, though.
Who was? Who was the admin? That's what I'm saying. Who was it? Was it Stoops? Is Stoops the elder among that crew?
It might be Mark Stoops. It probably was Saban originally.
Who would be the one that would run the SEC coaches group chat? Right. Who would run that? Who would be in charge?
Wait, does Bobby Petrino get to come in then?
Do you add it? Do you add him to it once he gets the head coaching gig? Do you go, yo, Bobby, you with us now?
Welcome back.
Well, they have they have the teleconference meeting every week, so I'm sure Petrino's in the press conference, and they're like, hey, Bobby, we're adding you to the chat. You know what I mean? And Bobby's like, damn, this is tight. I'm in the chat.
I'm back.
For how long? I don't know.
Because was there even group chats the last time he was an SEC head coach? That's some new shit.
That's a good question.
He was on BBM. He was on BlackBerry Messenger.
Yeah, BlackBerry. Oh man, BlackBerry Messenger. Man.
I remember when people had Blackberries. I was like, man, y'all rich, man. That's real nice.
BBM.
You know Bobby Petrino had that. But yeah, I thought that was fascinating too that Brian Kelly had to get kicked out of the group chat as soon as he got fired. Let's spin this forward. We've talked enough about what happened in the present tense, what happened in the past. Let's go towards the future. One big question: who is the best coaching candidate right now, today, moving forward for the future of LSU football? Van, I'll go to you first here. If you had to pitch someone to be the guy, who would be the guy?
This is not a dealer thing. This is a dope thing. Okay, I want to take you guys back to something. Okay. You guys remember the movie Blow?
Oh yeah, great movie. Johnny Depp, George Jung.
So George Jung, man. Shout out to George, man. He just wanted to see his daughter. It's just, it's awesome, man, trying to see his daughter. So I'm looking at these names: Lane Kiffin, Marcus Freeman, Kenny Dillingham, Jeff Brom. Jeff Brom is the head coach of Louisville, and that's like his place. Yeah. Like he played there, so it's his place. Drinkowitz, Clark Lee, Brinke, John Summerall, Joe Brady, all of these people are going to be in the mix, and then you're going to hear some names that are kind of out of the realm. You're going to hear Nick Saban, you're going to hear Urban Meyer, you're going to hear all kinds of people, NFL guys, whatever. All right. When I say it's not a dealer thing, it's a dope thing. Let me tell you what I mean. So there's a scene in Blow where George and Derek for real and everybody they're around, and they were Bobcat Goldthwait, and they're testing the product, right? They're testing the product. They're testing how the dope makes you feel, or not how it makes you feel, the purity of the dope. They're testing it. Mm-hmm. And Bobcat Goldthwait is being blown away by the purity of the dope, the cocaine that George has that's coming straight from Colombia. He's never seen anything like it. George has cut out the middleman, has not stepped on at all. He's bringing it straight off the boat to these guys, right? You're testing that and you're saying, this is what matters. Whoever these guys are in front of me, they're not super experienced dealers or whatever like that. What matters is the product. For all of these guys, fuck winning the press conference. Fuck that. Forget about winning the press conference. Anybody that's at LSU, Woodward's not going to be making this decision. It seems like the LSU Board of Supervisors is going to make that decision led by the governor, Jeff Landry, who, everybody fucking whatever. Forget about winning the press conference. Don't think about getting the fan base off your back. Look at the dope and test it. Look at the teams these guys have coached. Look at the quality of the teams, but not just from a wins and losses standpoint. Look at how these teams play for their head coach. Look at the toughness, the physicality of these teams. Look at the organizational structure, the process of all of these coaches. Look at what they put on the field, not just in result, but in process and execution. What kind of culture do you want to exist at LSU? It's not a Lane Kiffin culture. It's not a Marcus Freeman culture. It's not a Kenny Dillingham culture. It's a culture that's based around the highest level of competition, competence in execution, physicality, and passion. So when you're looking at the coach that you are going to hire, sure, these guys, their names, who they are, of course that matters. But man, grind your tape. Look at how these teams responded when they were down. Look at how these teams responded when they lost a couple. Look at how these teams responded for these guys when it was time to quit. That's what you want. That's what we have been asking for. So as far as these names, whatever, man. These names are guys who have all earned the right to be considered to be the next head coach of LSU. But what I care about now is when it's one blade of grass between you and a touchdown or a first down, which coach has a team that goes and gets that? That like literally plays with blood, soil, passion. That's what I'm talking about, right? And so, I don't know. We're going to talk about it. I hope that the Board of Supervisors is looking past just the names, is looking past just – because I don't see a Nick Saban on this list. I don't see a 7-time national championship on this list. I don't see like 8, 10 conference championships. But what you can see is the DNA of the teams that they've coached. And whoever has the best DNA, whoever has the best process, whoever has the toughest, most focused team, go give them a bag and bring them to Baton Rouge.
So it would scare me most if I was in the SEC and somehow they decided to go with Urban Meyer. That would be terrifying, I think, to the SEC if he ended up there at LSU. But because I'm such a fan of LSU, I'm going to give you a name, Van, that is not on this list because people haven't been talking about him. He's a long shot. He's not going to get hired. And that's fine because he's also coaching at a school I care about. Do you know who's a proven head coach who's already won within the LSU footprint, who's been a winner at every level, and someone who has the commitment of one of the nation's best QB recruits right now? Willie Fritz at Houston. And I'm not saying that because I want Houston to lose him. The Cougs will always be my second or third favorite team after TCU and LSU. But for the purposes of this segment, I'm saying in a world where there's no sure thing, as Van just said, there's no sure thing in coaching, where you can really only plan about 3 years at a time right now, 3 to 4 years at a time. Willie Fritz seems about as good of an option as anyone. And it reminds me of the kind of hire that A&M made when it moved on from Jimbo Fisher, and they wanted Mark Stoops. Well, that kind of fell apart. And it's brought old.
Well, the fan base said no, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that A&M,
like,
the A&M fans said no. Can't happen.
We do not want. Yeah, right. They didn't want a Bear Bryant replay, right? They didn't want to do that. So they brought in solid old born Mike Elko. Turns out like that might have been a good hire. So Fritz created maybe the most successful runs to happen at Sam Houston State in Tulane in recent memory. Tulane was a down-ass program. Anybody from that area knows. But people looked at Tulane and they were like, well, it's a private school, but it's down there. And then he made that a winning program. He has Houston at 7-1 in only his second year, and the future looks bright. And that's right. That's LSU lost out on Bryce Underwood, right? Oh, that's too bad, man. That sucks. They could have had him. What about Kashawn Henderson, man? He's one of the top quarterback recruits in the country. Fritz has him going to Houston next year. Like, he's committed to them. So how hard would it be for Fritz to be like, man, you want to come on 4 hours east over here on I-10, bro? Right, just come right down, flip right here. Now you got somebody to build after Nuss. Anyway, like I said, probably a long shot. He's 65. He's only in his second year at Houston. I'm guessing LSU thinks they can do better than Willie Fritz. But the question was, who is the best coaching candidate, not the most likely one? And if for me, in terms of who I'm looking at, best coaching candidate for LSU, I'm thinking Willie Fritz. And if y'all don't want him, can I interest you in a Sonny Dykes?
Well, Sonny Dykes from TCU, yeah, I can have him. But yeah, I really don't know. Like, I think Marcus Freeman being on this list is hysterical just because of the meltdown that would occur.
Well, he said no to Florida. He said no to Penn State. He has not been asked about LSU, according to reports.
If I were him, I wouldn't take that job at all.
Notre Dame. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's your guy.
Yep.
He's not going anywhere. If Marcus
He'll go to
Freeman,
the NFL if he goes
he'll
anywhere.
go to the NFL if he goes anywhere. He's not coming to LSU.
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman is Notre Dame's guy. Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, peanut butter, jelly, hairspray, all of this shit is right there. Y'all got Marcus Freeman. Ignore all of this stuff, Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman is not leaving. I don't know that Lane Kiffin's leaving. Everybody keeps talking about Lane Kiffin as if Lane Kiffin is so eager to leave Oxford. And look, he hasn't hit us with the "I'm not going to be the coach of Alabama" lie. Okay, he hasn't done that quite yet, right? But I don't see, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't see a hell of a lot of reason for Lane Kiffin to become the coach anywhere other than where he's coaching at right now. Like, I don't see the big deal for Lane Kiffin to move. Do I think that LSU is a better job than Ole Miss? Yeah, but if I'm looking at Ole Miss the last couple of years and LSU in the last couple of years, I don't see that much difference. And you're going to be dealing with a fan base right now that is really looking for a lot more than what they might be looking for at Ole Miss right now. That's not to say that Ole Miss isn't talented and that in the next couple of years you might not see Ole Miss with a national championship. I think he can win the national championship here. But I just don't understand why everyone in the national media is so convinced that Lane Kiffin is ready to leave Ole Miss.
Nick Saban basically said that. He said that the jobs that were once great aren't necessarily great in the new landscape. And, like, why does everybody assume that Ole Miss is not a better situation for Lane today, even though we're all using our brains from 2019, right? I mean, I think that's really the argument for Lane. I did write this down. The most entertaining outcome is the most likely. So I did want to ask, like, what is the most entertaining outcome for LSU if they get a new coach? Is it Lane?
No, the most entertaining outcome would be Nick Saban.
There you go.
That's the most entertaining one. The one that would make everybody. I mean, if Nick Saban came back to coach LSU, the birth rate in Baton Rouge would go down because everybody would bust a nut collectively at the same time. Like, you would literally see people walking around in Baton Rouge, just wet pants everywhere. Women not being satisfied by their husbands, men not being satisfied. Everyone, ED would be so, and it wouldn't just be one nut that would be bust. They would bust over and over and over and over.
Be a bad day for Blue
again.
Chew. Yeah.
A bad day or a good day, because they might take the Blue Chew so they could come back and do another one.
Pornhub.
But or a good one. Right? Because it just depends on how you look at it. So, like,
Spark it up.
I think this is the most entertaining outcome. You're right.
That's by far the most entertaining outcome is Nick Saban walks out. It would, for Alabama, Nick Saban becoming the coach of LSU again would legitimately be like Hulk Hogan going heel at Bash at the Beach.
Yep.
Back when the NWO first got popping.
They would take his name off the field, right? Like, I really do think that.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they would take his name off the field, but
They would.
every time we went there, we would have to win because Nick Saban losing on Nick Saban field would be surreal, right? It would be crazy. But that's by far the most entertaining outcome to me.
I wonder if they've made a call to him. Probably not. I mean, Nick Saban is in his 70s. Again,
73, turned 74. His birthday's on Halloween, by the way.
Yeah,
so
man,
Nick Saban turned 74 on Friday.
Yeah. Just make him say no. I would make him say no.
Yeah.
I think he will get a phone call.
Yeah, I would make, hey, Nick, look, 4 years, $15 million a year. Do you want a little bit more of a bag for you and Miss Terry? I know y'all going.
I would call Miss Terry. That's who I would call.
Call Miss Terry. I know y'all like going to Bora Bora for vacation, but do y'all want to go to Saturn or Venus for vacation? Because we could put y'all on a spaceship in this motherfucker.
Y'all might be going to Mars.
Say no, but he would say no. He would say no.
Joel, do you agree that's the most entertaining outcome?
Yeah, I mean, well, or that a Coach O. I mean, he's offered himself back up, for the job. He would love to do it. And I mean, the thing is, LSU really didn't want to have to fire that man. Like it was obviously it happened, under duress. They would prefer a guy like, and I don't want to speak too much. I mean, I'm new to the LSU fan base, but it seemed like a really good cultural fit. He's a good, I mean, he's a fun character. He's a tough guy. He can really recruit. But, I mean, there were reasons it didn't work out last time and probably wouldn't go there again.
I got to be honest with you. This is going to sound so stupid. I'm not 100% against it. And let me tell you why.
Wow.
So I'm not 100% against it. I don't think you do it, but I don't think you do it. But if they did do it, I wouldn't be 100% against it. All right. I knew this couple. They were married for a long time. The marriage was going good. And then for some reason, the husband just started wilding out, just going crazy. I mean, man, he was going to Vegas. He got a tattoo. Remember one time we was at a little Thanksgiving joint. I pulled him to the side. I'm like, "Yo, you straight? Like you good?" And then he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm great. I'm living. Just got this promotion. We just bought this house. So the whole nine. Everything was good." Then it came out that, there was a small bag of cocaine that was found. And so she left him.
Tough.
She had to leave him.
Over coke?
Yeah, she had to leave. The cocaine was the thing, was the straw that broke the camel's back. So small bag of cocaine that she found, she had to leave him. I was like, damn, man, I like him. Like, I used to have conversations with him. We used to talk and the whole nine. Everything was going on. Everything was cool. He got his shit together.
Mm-hmm.
He realized what it was like to not be around his family, to be persona non grata. He started like doing yoga and going for long walks. He actually became much more annoying. Yeah, he became much more annoying to me then. I was kind of like the old version of him better. But they got back together, and for all intents and purposes, they're having an incredible marriage. I thought about this when the Coach O stuff started turning up, because if Coach O has learned what it means to be in the doldrums and not be a part of LSU, if he's learned that you can't have sex with the boosters' wives, that you can't bring your girl to practice, or maybe you can tell us about that. Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. If he's learned all of that, that's a guy that the players play hard for. That's a guy that can recruit his ass off. That's a guy that can build a staff. What he didn't have was focus. And if getting kicked in his ass returns that focus to him, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Also a guy that could sell himself to that board of supervisors as like a change man. They know him very well. He's won a national championship. Maybe he could put a staff together. And also, he might take less money. I think that might be another thing that he could offer them, where he's like, I'll take $5 million a year as opposed to $10, $12 million a year. And if you have a conversation, right, between paying John Summerall $12 million a year or whatever the number may be versus Coach O for $5 million a year, plus you can put that money into players, right, maybe that's a conversation they have.
We're in a new world. So, I mean, again, I think we're joking about Coach O here, although I know, we may. But here's the thing.
It's a joke. We're not joking, but it's a joke. It's not a joke. Yeah.
Yes. But, I mean, this is a whole new world of college football. You can rethink the structure of your football program. You get in a good general manager, a good CEO, a general manager like young Brandon Harris at the University of Texas, bringing in that. Oh, well, I mean, I guess you look at his work this year, it might be like, well, I don't know. You ended up with Parker Livingstone as one of your top receiving threats. But, you bring somebody like that in, you get a coach that maybe costs a little less money, and then, you got a little bit more to spend on your roster. There's all kind of way, which is maybe why they should just hire Honey Badger, because Honey Badger put his hand. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? You get somebody that's a face of the program out there, get kids hype. Be out there. And
Kelvin Shepherd is another name they've thrown out.
Kelvin
Joe
Shepherd
Brady.
is another name.
Yeah.
Kelvin Shepherd is another name. Mm-hmm. I do think that Tyrann Mathieu will be the head coach of LSU football one day.
You think so?
Yeah. One day. I don't know if that's today, but that brother's young. He can coach his ass off, or he
that 7 LSU jersey was so sick too.
Yeah,
it hits.
He was a genius. He was a genius as a player. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I say, if people are asking me why I think he can coach his ass off, it's because I know stuff. So I think one day, it's probably, I don't know if it's now, but I think one day he'll be the head coach of LSU. I really do.
I like that proclamation there. But again, a lot to figure out for LSU. A lot of conversations to be had. Again, the Board of Supervisors will be making this decision, not the AD. The governor will be involved, which you can take that however which way you want to, but it will be the Board of Supervisors. Maybe they reach out to Van Lathan, get some hoodoo involved, and they get a good coach, and they change this program back around. I think that's the move. They have been asking every coach about Brian Kelly getting fired, whether it's Kirby Smart, Dabo Sweeney. I wanted to get your guys' reaction, overreaction of the week. This is Coach Prime's reaction to being asked about Brian Kelly getting fired and just in general coaches getting fired this early in the season. He said, everyone wants the quick fix. You can get a BBL. You can come in here flat as I don't know what and leave thick as a Snicker, end quote. Your thoughts on Coach Prime comparing the firings and the instant gratification to the BBL culture? Joel, I'll go to you first here.
Man, of course, you come to me first on that one. I mean,
do you like the analogy? Do you like the comp?
I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I don't understand because I don't think that analogy quite works because it ain't like
I don't either.
You can build a big ass. You know, it's really hard.
It got the people going.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just you can work all you try and really not get bigger titties. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or a bigger ass. And so you really have got to, I mean, that's something that you got to go get. The doctor's got to pull that to you. But the broader point that he makes is the right one. And of course, I mean, he's inclined to bolster the argument that best explains what's going on in the industry, right? And among his fraternity. But, I mean, he is right, man. I mean, it's just, I mean, I don't have any real judgment about it or whatever, but it's like, man, are we just going to keep firing guys? Are we going to keep signing them up to long contracts, extending them at the first hint of success, and then 2 years later when there's an inevitable drop-off, firing them?
I think the buyouts are going away. I don't think we're going to see these huge buyouts again. I think people are just going to be like, look, you can pay these guys and they can leave. Right.
Tate, a year ago, if Florida State was coming open, wouldn't Deion's name probably have been discussed as one of those names? Like one of the people? Right. Mm-hmm. It just a year has changed. He's not changed as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like his strategy for talent acquisition has not really changed. But just 1 year later, things are a little worse. He lost his best players. And now people are like, nah, whatever. Of course, the health issues are the other part of it as well. But it's just like things can really change. And I can understand coaches being like, man, what is a good job? There's no such thing as security, but they've always known that. And again, that's what the money is for. So
also, if you're a coach during a bye week, don't go on vacation. Bill Belichick goes to Nantucket. Brian Kelly goes fishing, right, or goes on a boat or whatever he was doing. You got Coach Prime going fishing in Texas, right? So all these guys, you're being watched at all times. And if you take a bye week to go on a trip, people don't like it, even though if it's okay, you know, it's all above board. Just keep it on the low, I guess, is the other lesson here. Van, your thoughts on the BBL conversation?
I like this because I don't think the message works, but I don't think the message works. You know, I think after 4 years, you should be able to ascertain whether or not things are going in the right direction, man. I can't think of anything else in the world where 4 years is not enough of a sample size for you to know whether or not things are going the way you need them to go. 4 years in a relationship, 4 years at a different job. Like, I can tell you one thing. I remember guys who were out shooting paparazzi for TMZ. 4 years and you still can't get the shit right. Like Diana Dazrath was gonna get you out of there, right? You were gonna be done. Mike Walters wasn't going for that. 4 years you was gonna have to show something. And I'm not saying LSU didn't show anything, but I'm saying 4 years you was gonna have to show something. But fuck all that. What I like is the analogy itself. I like the fact that Deion understands the ins and outs of the BBL. You know what that tells me? Deion out here. That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The rest of these coaches don't know.
Listening.
The rest of these, oh, she don't need one. Nah. That's a beautiful lady. Okay, that's she don't need one. I'm not gonna talk about Deion, girl. That's a beautiful woman. You know, for a long time she's one of our beauties of the last 50. Good on Deion. But I'm telling you, Deion knows this because Deion is probably one of the only coaches in all of the NCAA that's actually had to make a decision that's popped up in the last 10 years, and that decision is BBL or no. Do you think that James Franklin had to consider that? No. Do you think that Eli Drinkowitz has ever had to consider whether or not he wants a BBL or not? Do you think that any of these guys, Kenny Dillingham, maybe he could, but then he's in Scottsdale or no, he's in Tempe, and that is a completely different situation as far as what's going on out there. These guys are married too. I'm not talking about what they do on the side, but I'm saying that like Dion has been a bachelor and Dion still got his shit with him. There's probably women that's hitting Dion up and Dion has to go, I'm old school. I don't really like that. And then there's some girls that Dion probably have to be, yo, man, turn around, let's make some magic. So it's like, is to me, I like this because Dion is still plugged into this cultural conversation around BBLs, and it's one that we should have.
There was a video a few months ago when he was doing that show with, old girl. What's her name?
Diaz.
Rossi Diaz. Yeah, and it was a girl, one of the...
Former host of 106 in Park.
Show some respect to Rossi Diaz.
Roxy, one of the greats. One of the greats.
Yeah.
One of the greats.
Shout out to Terrence J., North Carolina.
So, Terrence J., that's what's up.
You shady by bringing up you shady. I made you shady. Shout out to Terrence J. Terrence J. produced a movie with me, but that was shady to bring up Terrence J. The Rossi Diaz thing. I know what you're doing. Tate, you be doing shit. Go ahead, Joe. My back.
Roxy's great. But you remember they were on Dion's little show and they had somebody.
It's Dion and Roxy's show.
Dion
it's on Tubi.
Yeah,
it's on Tubi.
Yeah,
it's on Tubi. Right. And they had this wrestler, her name was like Nika Bella or whatever, and her
it's the Bella twins.
The Bella twins, and they were kind of giving him some rhythm.
Oh, they were trying to rock. Yeah,
they were giving him some rhythm. I was like, man, Dion's kind of, and you could see him kind of like perk up. He sat up in his chair a little bit. He's like, all right, what we got here?
They were talking about how they like chocolate.
What's
he was
up?
like, wait a second.
He was like, okay, what's up?
Yeah, let's not get okay. Let's. Dion's Dion's a Christian man, and he in a relationship.
Now,
like none of these guys can. These guys not fucking with Prime on that level. Come on, man. It's not like we don't even have to talk about that level. Like,
Tracy Edmonds is like,
come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah,
that's like,
one of the.
You know what I'm saying?
Of my whole life, like
that's like that's a whole gorgeous black family.
Come
on, man. Come on, man. That's a whole beautiful Dion. That's a whole beautiful black family. Don't play with Dion like that. Not on that level. On any level, really, but especially not that level. Don't play with Dion.
No playing. But I like that reaction from Dion. So overreaction of the week. On the flip side of that, we got the pause of the week. I don't know if you guys saw this clip of Kirby Smart, but this is the quote from it, and I want to get both your reactions to this. He said, "Okay, now I got to finish, and finishing on a guy that size is harder than you think." End quote.
Damn.
Whoa.
That was the pause of the week.
Wow. My God. Oh my! I like that. Oh my God, Kirby! Look, he got his thumb. Ooh. He got the thumb. He got the thumb up. Okay, Kirby. Okay, Kirby.
From the BBL to the pause of the week.
It's tough to finish on the guy, man.
Kirby, I fuck with it. That's what. Okay, I get it, Kirby. Like that, I get it. I gotta finish. And so I guess my question is, who is it easy to finish on? Is Kirby? Is it a twink situation? Like who is it? Who is it easy? Who is it easier to? Who is it easiest to finish on? That's why. Shout out to Kirby though. Shout out to him. I fuck with it. I love.
He was talking in the context of defenders, finishing the play, but it was it was 6 seconds that I was like, whoa.
Who was the size in this example? Like who was he talking? Who was the guy with the size?
He was talking about his defense in general. I don't think it was a specific guy, but he was just like, our defense can't get these guys down on the ground. And then he used that sort of phrasing,
D can't get it on the ground.
Okay. Yeah, got to get these guys down on the ground. So,
hey, bro, look, man, fuck it. I'm with it. I'm with all of it. Fuck it, bro. Fuck it.
Kirby, man.
Yeah, that's tough. Pause of the week. Last thing before we go to break. Start, bench, cut. You got these three coaches. You're an AD. You got to hire one of these guys who have just been fired. Brian Kelly, James Franklin, Billy Napier. Start, bench, cut. Joe, I'll go to you first.
So I would like to start James Franklin. He didn't lose his job because he was bad. He just lost his job because people got tired of him and they thought the program had plateaued. I think he'll be fine. He'll go somewhere else. People are saying Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, yeah.
Right, Virginia Tech, maybe UCLA, maybe Maryland. If that comes open, and I'll be right down here.
Maryland.
Joe wants Maryland so bad.
Terps are my fourth or fifth favorite team, so I'll go with over there and support him. Bench, Billy Napier, man, he's only 46. That's younger than me. I think he'll probably go be someone's offensive coordinator again. build his reputation back up. I mean, the thing that's kind of funny is that there's no Nick Saban finishing school anymore. Pause. But there's you can't.
Kirby Smart does the finishing school now.
Yeah, Kirby Smart's got the finishing school now. But you can't. So you can't. It's really hard to build your reputation up in the same way like you used to. Just go play for Nick Saban for a few. Coach for Nick Saban for a few years. But I think Billy Napier will probably be fine. And man, Brian Kelly, man, nobody likes you, dog. Like the way that this all went down and the way that it's been exposed, it's just I saw somebody mention Michigan State on social media the other day, and like all these like Spartans fans were like, "Fuck no!" Like I'd rather have the East Lansing High School coach than Brian Kelly. It was just like people who got up in an outrage, and I'm not saying that's representative sample, but I was like, I just think he might as well take his $53 million or whatever he can negotiate. Go to that lake house up there in the Upper Peninsula and just chill, man. Just live your life. You're 64. You've done a lot. Probably can just get another job in broadcasting and ride off into the sunset, bro.
Same order as Joel. This is my advice for Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly got to pull an A-Rod. A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Rodriguez has used television to completely rehabilitate his image. Totally. You watch A-Rod now, A-Rod's joking around with
David Ortiz, Derek
Jeter. He's joking around with these guys who he used to revile and who revile him.
Jeter still hates him. There are moments where Jeter kind of like breaks the veil a little bit where he's
but
like,
it looks like they're cool.
Yeah, right.
And you remember like the awkward press conference interview that they had and all of that stuff. But you look at A-Rod now, A-Rod's talking baseball. He loves baseball. He's passionate about baseball. He's a little bit removed from the spotlight. You're not in his personal life no more. He's just a guy on TV with a job talking about that thing that he loves. And you can get into that. It makes you forget the fucking scumminess of A-Rod for the last 15 or 20 years. It just kind of washes over him. And Brian Kelly got to do that. Brian Kelly's got to go and just talk ball and do the whole deal. That could be his image rehabilitation. And it's not just A-Rod. There are other guys out there. Urban Meyer just up there talking ball, having fun with the boys, the whole nine. You're like, oh, this is him in his element. This is what he loves to do. That's what Brian Kelly got to do. Brian Kelly going to another situation right now to coach is going to be a pressure cooker for him. It's going to be a pressure cooker for the program and the culture of wherever he goes.
I'm with you. I think that's the order, Cut Brian Kelly, which is kind of shocking because if we gave that out at the start of the year, I think he'd probably be the one you start. So, he's won everywhere, whether Central Michigan, obviously, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, LSU to a certain extent, but not in the right ways, not the right games. So there you have it. Good times. I like that we broke this all down. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look forward to what we're going to see this weekend. Week 10 in college football was supposed to be the best week of the year, and we'll break down why it's not so much right now. We'll be right back after the break. Ringer Tailgate is brought to you by FanDuel. This college football season is delivering weekly showdowns you don't want to miss. And right now, all customers on FanDuel can score a 50% profit boost for this week's big match on campus between Texas and Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia versus Arch Manning. Just place a bet on the game, apply your profit boost, and enjoy boosted winnings when your bet hits. And the best part, you get paid instantly when you win. I like Vandy this weekend. I'm going with Pavia. You can get that at plus money right now. Visit FanDuel.com/tailgate to download the app and boost your next bet on this week's marquee game. Must be 21 or older in present and select states, or 18 and older in present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amounts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. All right, we're back on Tailgate. We got great games this weekend. Fun games, I should say. We were supposed to have great games. I wanted to break this down. A little fact here from the preseason. This was supposed to be the best week of the season. We were supposed to get number 2 Penn State versus number 3 Ohio State in the shoe. We were supposed to get number 10 Miami, number 16 SMU, number 11 Arizona State, number 22 Iowa State, number 13 South Carolina, number 21 Ole Miss, number 23 Texas Tech, number 17 Kansas State, number 18 Oklahoma, number 24 Tennessee Tennessee. And, of course, number 5, Georgia, taking on number 15, Florida. And, boy, have things changed quite a bit in the landscape of college football. How shocked are we by this fact, that this is where we are right now? This is what we expected. The reality is a lot different. Van, what are your thoughts on this?
Yo, so the shit not popping like we thought it was going to be, but I still love this weekend. You know why? I've dubbed this weekend the Joel Anderson weekend.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord.
This is a hating-ass weekend of college football. All right, that's what this is. Penn State, hate on Ohio State. Hate on them. Go out there, mess their season up. Hey, South Carolina, you couldn't get it done against Alabama. Hate. Go out here and hate on these, bro. Hate on them.
Yeah, ruin the season.
Florida, Georgia, hate. This is a hating-ass weekend. The reason why we thought all of these teams
player haters ball
were going to be, this is the player hater, this is the Joel Anderson player haters ball. We thought all of these teams were going to be great against each other because the reality is these teams have comparable talent. If you go by blue chip ratio and this player could do this and all of that stuff, these teams have comparable talent, and that's when you can hate. The best haters are the dudes that's actually not that far away from you. Think about it. You running and you faster than somebody. If you lapping them, they can't really hate on you. But if you were just a little bit faster, they can stick that elbow out. Get off you. Hate.
Push them
Kick
down.
you down. Push them down. That's
Go
when
hate.
you can hate. So these teams are far apart in accomplishment and record. I'm not saying. But in actual talent, Penn State has the opportunity to do the funniest thing in the world. They're not going to do it, but they have the opportunity to do the funniest thing in the world right now. Hate on these people. The Joel Anderson weekend.
Hate. Joel, do you
Hate.
agree with that?
You know what I'm saying? You look at that. I tried to show my support, you know what I'm saying? Thought me and Van could
Because
bond
Dick Riding is a form of hating.
No, this ain't dick riding.
It
This
is.
ain't dick riding. No,
That's dick riding.
no,
That's dick riding.
No,
Yeah,
it's not
Joe,
dick
that's
riding.
dick
No,
riding.
you don't get to. No, you don't get to decide.
Dick riding.
I know you don't get to decide.
Joe,
You don't get to
you dress up
decide.
you dress up like a tiger. Like
No.
that's a dick ride.
No,
Dick riding is a form of hating.
I'm
Oh,
supporting.
man.
No, I'm supporting.
And
I'm
you got,
you know
and
what?
Kat, you know what the most disrespectful thing about the outfit is? You have the distressed LSU shirt on.
Yeah,
it's
man.
distressed.
It's hard. It's hard to get a LSU shirt on order like that, bro. You just can't. You know, I'm in Maryland. Man. I could have probably got a Terp shirt. It would have been a little bit easier to get.
I like you committed to the bit, though. You got the shirt. You got the tiger
Yeah, man.
costume.
Yeah, my wife. Shout out my baby Janae, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, all the people calling me a hater. People know that I'm a lover, man. You know, I'm a
They're
curious,
close.
I'm a wanderer. You know, innocent soul. You know, I look at people anyway. But contrary to Van's thing, I think we have not had a bad week of football yet. You know, and I just think that's the way it's going to be. Like, I mean, and that's the thing about college football. The week that you think, oh, I can turn away from the game, like these games don't look like they're going to be that much. They didn't turn out to be whatever. And they end up being the ones with, like you said, a team of similar talent or whatever. They've got something to play for. I mean, look, man, LSU just fired their coach. I mean, think about what has happened to the teams that have fired their UAB jumped up and messed up Memphis, right?
Yep.
UCLA, as soon as they fired Deshaun Foster, they jumped up and messed up Penn State season. So I mean, there's something in the atmosphere this year. So I'm excited for this week, man. I mean, there's not a week, and now we only get so many, man. How can we already be in November? Like that's the thing that I'm always just like, bro, like, man, we're more than halfway through college football season.
It's going
already.
by so fast.
It's going by
man.
so fast. Yeah. I could not. We were looking at this. It said week 9. I was like, shit. Already, man. I'm already fretting about the season we've already got behind us. So yeah, man, I'm excited for this, man. And actually, that Oklahoma Tennessee game is better than it was billed at the
Right.
beginning
So
of the
there
season.
are some
somehow-
upgrades.
Yeah, that actually ended up being a better one. So yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the games we're gonna have? Like, what are the games that are gonna be on in the top half of the slate? What can we promise the people for some of these? Are these? Because these kickoffs right here are a lot of these were TBD, and the Ole Miss South Carolina game is a flex game, but we won't get it. Which games can we give the people. I want the staff back there to kind of, if they can help us out, tell us
Vandy
like
in Texas, right? I think.
Yeah,
Vandy
we
in
get
Texas
we
will
get
be-
we get Diego Pavia versus hopefully Arch Manning, number 9 Vanderbilt at number 20 Texas. The latest game of the night is which is the game day game, number 17 Cincinnati at number 24 Utah. So that'll be a McShay game late in that one, but should be a good one. Utah trying to figure out who's going to start for them. Sorsby's been good for Cincinnati. Yeah. We should have Florida and Georgia, I believe, as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
number 5 Georgia at Florida. So
we'll have Georgia at Florida. Have y'all ever been to Jacksonville? Have y'all ever been to that game?
I have been to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Was it a good?
It's fantastic. It was a great experience, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was around Jacksonville. And when I went to Jacksonville, this was some years ago, you know, I went to the community to like hang out.
I went to a Jaguars game.
Okay. Went to Jacksonville. Okay.
Alltel Stadium. That's not called that no more. But
Yeah, that's what it was when I
Jackson.
went. Yeah.
I fuck with Jacksonville heavy, man, but I'm telling you what, Jacksonville is not a place for you to be playing. God damn. Hell nah. Shout out to the Jackson. I love Jacksonville. Jacksonville, one of the most underrated cities in Florida to me. I fuck with it. Wow. But that was my first experience of knowing that you do not need to fuck around in Jacksonville. It was not a place to fuck around. Yes. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, huh?
Yeah.
It's just like Compton.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just like Compton. I remember that record.
Yeah.
Dude, remember all the cities on that record?
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Like Compton.
Yeah,
Denver.
it's just
Denver
like Compton.
San Antonio made it.
Yeah, San Antonio. I was like, God damn, all of these places. I wanted somebody to make a song when that record came out, and the song was like, it's not like Compton. You know what I'm saying? Boise. Yeah, not really like Compton.
Jackson Hole.
Omaha.
Jackson Hole.
Like Compton.
Hey, kind of not like Compton, fool. Seattle, although Seattle is.
Seattle
Not
got some
quite
spots,
like
man.
not quite like Compton. Because I remember listening to that record back in the day. I was like, God damn, everywhere like Compton. And that was the point of the record.
It's kind of crazy
we're all
that
the
he
same.
said St. Louis like it was a surprise, though. It was like, nah.
I remember, man, rest in peace, my daddy. My daddy was like, St. Louis just like Compton. Shit. Nigga, St. Louis is worse than Compton. I was like, for real? He was like, boy,
man, yeah.
you ain't never been
St.
up there.
Lunatics.
He was like, he's like, ain't no just like Compton. He's like,
yeah,
St.
bro.
Louis is worse than Compton.
St. Louis helped populate Compton, bro. So yeah, man. There's a lot.
If y'all don't remember that record, we talking some 90s shit.
DJ Quick, man.
DJ Quick, just like Compton.
Just like Compton. One of my favorite songs.
Yeah, it's okay. It was just like Compton.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, yeah.
Brought everybody together. You love that.
Well, you know what? They're moving that game. You know they're moving it to Atlanta next year?
Nah, it's whack.
And they're moving it to Tampa the year after that.
Really? I didn't know that they were doing that.
I didn't know it. I
That's kind of lame.
Hey, man, I like Tampa, though, man. You know,
we might lose
lose
USC Notre Dame and that game being in Jacksonville very soon. So we got rivalries that are falling by the wayside. I don't like that. We need that in college football. But yeah, those are the 4 biggest games there. Number 9 Vanderbilt at number 20 Texas, number 5 Georgia at Florida, number 18 Oklahoma at number 14 Tennessee, and number 17 Cincinnati at number 24 Utah. Is there a favorite other matchup on the board for you, Van, that you like?
I, for some reason, like USC versus Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
I am still fascinated with Nebraska, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why I'm still fascinated with Nebraska. I'm going to be tuned in to the South Carolina Ole Miss game.
That's a good one.
But I am still fascinated with Nebraska. I was a really strong believer in Matt Rule. And I thought that Matt Rule would get Nebraska back to relevance. That's not quite happening. And now there's talk that Matt Rule may be gone. So the question is, and this is the thing, man. It's another thing if we talk about the Brian Kelly thing or whatever. You're always wondering if you were one of these programs, and this is not a direct shot at the people in Lincoln, okay? This is not a direct shot at them. I'm not saying this by any stretch.
Shout out my boy Josh Peterson. You know what I'm saying?
All right, not a direct shot. But what I'm saying is, when I was growing up, man, I watched Tommy Frazier and Lawrence Phillips just destroy people. Yeah. Y'all talk about all of the college football players that we don't name, that we have forgotten, that were just dominant. all you young whippersnappers out there, look up highlights of a guy named Tommy Frazier
So good.
from the mid-'90s Nebraska teams and the way they would run that option. Watch him just decimate Florida.
I got a Tommy Frazier jersey, by the way, Nebraska jersey.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. You know,
all of
last
these
name.
guys.
I'm on green, man.
Amon Green. Oh, my God. He was the
Green.
guy that came behind Lawrence Phillips, right?
Yep.
So my thing is every single college football program, don't matter if you Florida, Florida State, LSU, whoever you are, once again, not to diss the people in Lincoln, but that's what they are afraid of. Florida right now is asking the question, yo, man, it's been a while since we didn't peaked at the top of the mountaintop, man. Are we now Nebraska? Like, are we now this once vaunted, not just dangerous, but dominating program that can't get it done anymore? And I thought Nebraska would be resurrected by Matt Rule. Hasn't happened. So now every game that I watch, I'm like, yo, are we going to see this again? Or are they punting on it again? Is Nebraska now just Nebraska?
And it was that Fiesta Bowl that they beat Florida in, by the way, Nebraska. You know what I mean? When Tommy Frazier, beat the hell out of him in that route.
Beat the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, it all really fell apart for them. And I know Van be saying I'd be getting stuff wrong. But do you remember the Big 12 championship game where they lost to Colorado like 62-36 or something like that? It was the year Eric Crouch still ended up being the Heisman Trophy. But I felt like that was the year that you first started to see it all sort of crumble. Right, where it was just like, oh wow, this is not the same old Nebraska, and yeah, they haven't been back on top. And the funny thing that because I heard people talk about the Matt Rule to Penn State thing, and I was like, have y'all seen Nebraska fans online talk about Matt Rule? Like, they're not totally in love with that guy. Like, they're happy that they're bowl eligible now, which is something they've been struggling to do for the last few years.
It seems like he's on the wrong side of the line. At the start of the year, he was on the right side of the line. Now he's moved to the other side, right?
I mean, that loss to Minnesota was really – it wasn't it was just a bad time for them. Like, they looked really bad offensively. And then
especially if you saw Minnesota against Iowa last weekend where they get absolutely demolished.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're looking at Dylan Raiola and you're like, well, has he really turned out to be what we thought he was going to be? He's still a very good quarterback, good college quarterback, but maybe not quite what everybody thought. So – yeah, man. That's going to be a very good game, man. USC, man. I mean, again, that's if Nebraska loses and is out of the playoff hunt, what will those fans be saying? But for me, I'm looking at Texas Tech at Kansas State. A couple weeks ago, we all had the expectation that Tech was going to cruise to the Big 12 championship game. Now, all of a sudden, they lose to Arizona State. They had a solid veteran QB in Baron Morton and a promising backup in Will Hammond. Hammond goes down. He's lost for the season in last week's win over Oklahoma State, man. So they got Morton, who's sort of injured right now. Like he missed last week, but they said he could have played last week. And they got to go up to Kansas State, man. And Kansas State, I mean, that 4-4 record is a little misleading, right? They've lost their 4 games by a total of 13 points. And they've since won.
God damn, that's brutal.
Yeah, that's brutal. They've had just a run of bad luck. They're not a bad team. It would be real easy for Texas Tech to go up there. And if Texas Tech goes up there to Kansas State, they probably can't make it to that Big 12 championship game. And it's just like, wow, another team that spent a lot of money on that roster and don't get the returns that they expect. So I'll be kind of looking forward to that one to see what comes out of that.
Yeah, we need to learn who Texas Tech is. I think that's really that's really the fact finding of that game, right? To see what the level is, the ceiling of that team. And Kansas State's look better, right? We mentioned them when we talked about the Sunflower Showdown, 17 straight.
They beat the shit out of Kansas, man. They beat the shit out of Kansas. So yeah.
I like that. My favorite other matchup, I got number 8 Georgia Tech at NC State. If you know anything about NC State football, they love to be haters. They love to ruin the party, especially if you're a top-ranked team. We saw it with Florida State 2017 with the guy swinging the shirt around, that famous meme from that game. I think Florida State was number 12 in the country. They beat Lamar Jackson that same year when he was having his following up his Heisman season. They beat him when he's a top 25 team. So they like to spoil the party. Haynes King is apparently, by reports, pissing blood this week, and everyone's worried about him, and he's like, I'm still playing. I don't care. That's what he's saying. So number 8 Georgia Tech at NC State. If we're leaning into the player haters ball of it all, this is a very NC State game where they could definitely win. So wanted to circle that game, for the haters
please
out
get
there.
Haynes King some help, man. I just feel like they
help him.
He's
Oh,
bragging
that
about
was
it.
tough.
He's like, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pissing
I
blood.
just-
What
yeah,
else?
man, I just-
What
I
about
don't
my
know.
man Hollywood Smothers?
There you go.
Oh yeah, Smothers, man. That's
Oh,
good.
Hollywood Smothers. Hollywood Smothers might need to. Somebody might. How much eligibility Hollywood Smothers got?
I think he's a sophomore. Let's
Oh
look.
man, Hollywood Smothers, come on down. I
you
got.
trying to recruit?
I would love to have Hollywood Smothers at LSU.
He a
Dan is
sophomore.
tampering. He's a sophomore. There you go.
You are a booster. I mean, you need to be real careful. with
Hollywood
lines you cross.
Smothers. Hollywood Smothers, come on to LSU. Come
my-
on down.
Man, my boy Deck went go to NC State. Man, they don't have a lot to root for. Man, let's not pilfer the poor wolf pack, man.
I seen Hollywood Smothers be dancing up there. I fuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Hollywood Smothers, what are you doing? Hey, bro, Raleigh is nice. You done done your time in Raleigh, Hollywood Smothers. You done done your time in Raleigh. Raleigh is beautiful, by the way. I love North Carolina.
So
And they
Raleigh's
call it
great.
Raleighwood, so it kind of fits Hollywood.
Hey, you've been in
Raleighwood.
Raleigwood. You've been in Raleigwood. Man, come on down to Baton Rouge. Put some Raisin Canes. Hollywood Smothers in this motherfucker. Come on, man. You and Harlem Berry? Smothers Berry? What? Barry Smothers? Like the Barry Smothers backfield?
Hey,
Maybe they
Katie
call them
Durham
the
is still
Smothers
there
brothers?
too. Katie Durham
Well,
is
you
still
want to
there.
call them the Smothers? Well, Hollywood. What is so? It's Barry and you know what's crazy? You know what's a crazy ass name? Harlem Smothers. That's a crazy
great
name. Harlem
That would've
Smothers.
been a
Smothers,
movie,
come on down, man. Add you to the mix right there. You.
That sounds like a
Harlem
player
Berry.
like that you would have like in your college football game. You know what I mean? Like when you're recruiting in 2032. Harlem Smothers, 5-star recruit, down to you in Alabama and USC. He's gonna come on down to LSU. But yeah, that should be a great game. We got some other games on the board I wanted to mention, throw out. Number 2, Indiana at Maryland. That was for Joel, just for Joel to get fired up. I mentioned Miami at SMU, Penn State at Ohio State. We got Duke at Clemson, if you care. Navy at North Texas should be a really good game. Navy undefeated, North Texas, a really good team.
Undefeated
So, yeah, wanted to shout that game out. Arizona State at Iowa State, South Carolina at Ole Miss. We mentioned that game. And then we got the Pac-2 showdown, Washington State at Oregon State. So 2 teams left in the Pac-12. And then the last game I wanted to throw out there, UNC at Syracuse on Halloween.
Man,
That's a frightening night. ACC
Your bo-
Friday nights.
Your boys have been building up, Tate. They
see
don't
it.
look good, but they look better.
Trust the
you know?
process.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's not bullshit. They have been looking better as of late. Tate, are they figuring something out in North Carolina?
I think they call like praise rat poison. I was texting back and forth with some people down there. They're like, if praise is
Mike
rat
Lombardi.
poison, then the hate is a filet mignon. And I think like they're eating up the hate. Like they like every time Pablo comes out with like a new thing, they're like, this is great for us. All the
Boy.
players hate it. You know what I mean? They all kind of galvanize together. So feed off the hate. I think that's really the storyline there. Bill
Man.
Belichick needs hate. He doesn't need love.
If you a Clipper or a Tar Heel, the worst person you want to see tweet anything is Pablo Torre. Pablo Torre is kicking your motherfucking ass. You know what this reminds me of? When I look at Pablo, who's doing excellent work, and I see him, and I see the reaction to him, I'm like, oh, this is what people thought about me when I was at TMZ. Because you would tweet something that you had worked on, and underneath it would be like, yo, man, why you fixated on this? Why y'all reporting on this? Why you doing this? What you doing? How you doing it? Why would y'all do this? Why would y'all put this out? And I'm like, I don't know, man. We kind of do the stories that appear and the stories that we go after, whatever. But now I see people respond to Pablo. Pablo kicking North Carolina's nuts in, bruh. That's crazy, man.
I think more of the Clippers. You know what I mean?
Poor unfortunate.
Hold on,
Mike Lombardi,
wait.
man.
He just did Mike Lombardi.
He just did Mike Lombardi. Man.
Hold on, wait a
One
second. Don't, because I know you know Pablo. I kind of know Pablo a little bit. Don't run from the grind, Tate.
I'm not running from the grind.
He just did Mike Lombardi.
I'm like,
He
why are they
just
mad?
did-
My boy Lombardi's getting people sandwiches. You know what
He
I mean? At the
just
end of the
did
day,
your
he's trying to
man.
get
You
sandwiches.
have
mean,
no
man.
animus. You have no smoke for Pablo Torre. He just did your man.
I got no
Wow.
smoke. Like I said, it's a filet mignon. Like I want the hate to come in. I want them to be fueled by the hate. Like they need to get dogged. Get dogged and go win some football games. That's what I'm about. You know what I mean?
When I saw that, I started to send it to you because I'm like, maybe I did actually. I started to send it to you because I'm like, this is Tate's guy.
I
Mike
thought about
Lombardi.
saying, I didn't. Oh man, yeah. I mean, it was really some compelling information about.
I would
old
like
boy,
to point
man.
him
I
in a
was like,
different
all right.
direction, Jordan. You know what I mean? Like that's where I would steer him in a different direction. Hopefully he gets there. You know,
Leave that
I
little
think
man alone,
he's got
man.
more.
Tate lying, man. Wait till we get into these text messages. We're going to see text from Tate to Pablo going, yo, motherfucker, you fucking with me? Nigga, this the Tar Heels over here. What's that little ram? What's that ram's name?
Yeah, Ramses.
His name is Ramses?
Yeah, Ramses.
Oh, no wonder y'all be getting your asses beat in.
Hey man, it's not even the official mascot. We're Tar Heels. You know what I mean?
Wait, so he's not an official mascot? What is he?
Well, he is the
just-
official mascot, but he's named after a running back, the battering ram. You know what I mean? So
Wait,
like that's where
Wait,
it came
who's
from.
the running back? Who's the?
I think it was Choo Choo
Means?
Justice. I think.
Okay.
Hold on, wait, hold on real quick. So the Tar Heel is not, what is a Tar Heel is not a ram then? That's not a type of ram.
No, the Tar Heel is not a type of ram.
Okay, what's the Tar Heel?
The Tar Heel is from the Colonial War when they put tar in the river to slow down the English, and then the kids from North Carolina had tar on their boots because they were walking through the river. You know what I mean? So they were called Tar Heels. That's how they knew they were from North Carolina.
What era is this? What year did this happen?
This is like the 17. This is like colonial times.
Colonial times. Every
Not
time y'all,
it's not the Civil War. It's the
every time-
Revolutionary War.
Well,
every time y'all tell
I
a
mean,
story
look,
like that, I think about the horror that had to happen.
no,
I think about
Tar Heel is adopted by North Carolina Civil War soldiers as a term of state pride.
No, it's not
Damn,
Civil
Tate-
War. It's Revolutionary
Damn,
War.
Tate, what y'all
Chill.
doing?
Well, well, you know what? This is the AI overview on Google.
Yeah,
okay?
AI's trying to get me caught up.
Tate,
Okay, all right.
Tate,
Jack
I'm
Merritt.
telling you,
Ramses is named after Jack Merritt, who was the battering ram. He's a football player. That's why we were in football school.
Tate, I'm
That's why we
telling
had
you
the
right
ram.
now, I'm gonna do some
Means,
research.
man.
I'm gonna do some research, bro. Cause I bet you a steak dinner that Tar Heel shit has something to do with racists. It's like I guarantee you.
It has to do with anti-English. You know what I
I
mean?
guarantee
It's
you.
about-
I
hey,
guarantee you, I'm gonna be able to find something in that Tar Heel shit that's racist, bro. I
mean-
promise, Tate. I promise, bro. Our mascot has got that shit in it. I promise
Tigers,
you, bro.
I know. Yeah,
Tigers,
I'm telling you,
Civil War,
Ramses is named
Confederate-
after a football player.
Hold on. Look, here's the thing. Is Tar Heel a racist term? That came up on Google. Let's look. Oh, damn, it says not inherently racist. But
See?
it's okay.
Well,
I'm
not
a-
inherently. I mean,
Hey.
but its
That's-
origins.
No, the origins is Revolutionary War. When we founded the country, you know what I mean? That's what
Oh,
it is.
okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
It's always fuck the British, you know what I
We'll-
mean? That's what the
we'll-
energy is.
We'll return to this.
I'ma
I think
find
that
it.
yeah, I feel like
if it's
I'm
anything,
FTV, man.
the Fayetteville Observer wrote about this a few years ago. Does the Tar Heels name celebrate the Confederacy? We'll have
Oh,
No.
Tate, no,
to.
bro.
Oh man.
Nah,
man.
Tate.
I know that it does
Oh, yeah,
Nah,
okay.
Tate,
Yeah.
Tate, we got
Why did
two-
they leave it? Why did they leave it up for question then? I don't know. Why would they do the headline like
I
that?
know.
the Revolutionary War. I
Why
promise.
don't they?
Colony
It's
of
hard to
Roanoke. You guys
untangle.
ever heard of Virginia
It's hard
Dare?
to untangle,
You guys ever
this guy
heard of
says.
the first colony in this country? That's North Carolina,
okay.
Roanoke.
All right.
That's
Oh,
us.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you fucking think was happening there after a while?
Not good. The
Okay,
Croatans
so-
got their ass. The
so-
Croatans
that's right.
got them up out of there.
That's right. They I forgot
Got
about
them up
that.
out of there.
They got fucked over. So look, well, actually, I can make an argument that it was retaliatory. Anyway, but this is what I'll
Wow.
say. This is what I'll say. Look, bro, look, come on here on people's land. I'll say this. Shout out to North Carolina.
Hope.
Shout out to them. But I have to, LSU, it's a derogatory. I just want you to be in the same hell as me with the Civil War shit. And I see it's there. But that Tar Heel shit, I don't know why. I just thought maybe. I thought that the Ram, I really thought that Ram
Ramses is a football player. Jack
some
Merritt.
kind of Ram
Tate,
Tar Heel.
Van, I'm sorry. William Thorpe said the term was reappropriated during the Civil War to represent
Damn.
Confederate soldiers who held their ground against
Wow.
the quote.
But I'm
Northern
talking about that's
aggression.
reappropriated.
And then
That's
he
not
says,
the appropriate.
and then he says, if you
appropriate
call
is the
yourself a Tar
Revolutionary
Heel,
War.
you're cheering for the essence of white supremacy. Thorpe.
Tate! Oh, my God! Oh, shit!
Who wrote that?
Oh,
That
What?
ain't true.
What?
That's hurt.
Joe,
Look up
read
the
that shit
Civil
again.
War. The Civil War was
Joe.
started by South
I
Carolina.
feel bad.
They
I
seceded.
feel bad. I'm
They
sorry.
seceded. They're the problems. Then they
Oh.
implicated
Joe,
North Carolina.
Why
in
would
Joe.
the Fayetteville Observers do this?
Joe,
That's
read
South
that shit
Carolina.
again. Read that shit again.
He said,
The
if you,
essence.
if you
wrote
call
this?
yourself a Tar Heel, ellipses, You're cheering for the essence of white supremacy. Thorpe said. He said it's like saying, quote, go Confederate soldiers, or, quote, it's a great day to be a Confederate soldier.
Yo, motherfuckers, y'all
we're pulling for the colonial soldiers. We're pulling for the first Americans.
Oh, man. You wanted to be one way, Tate. But it's the other way.
Nah, they reappropriated. That's not us. Also,
Tate,
South Carolina did this.
Tate,
we were not trying to secede. We were trying to meet in the middle.
Tate, I thought you was an ally, bro.
I'm an ally.
I'm gonna go check your shit after George Floyd to see if you posted.
Did you have a black square?
Did you put a black square?
I think I did. Yeah, I did.
You got the look. All right.
I think they made me.
Oh my God.
Man.
Tar Heels, man. Shit.
Woo!
Tate.
Tough.
That's another reason why Hollywood Smothers need to come on down, bro. Come down to the big Confederacy.
I think that could be Big Van on campus this week, Van, unless you have something else.
Nah, hell nah. That's it.
All right.
We uncovered. We did something.
You uncovered nothing.
Investigation.
We'll
put this Fayetteville Observer piece in the show notes.
Yeah,
Man,
we are actually the ones
they're turning on the people.
We're the ones that are uncovering stuff here. We are the podcast that is doing the digging, and we found out. Well, we found out the legacy of Tate.
Oh,
that's not us.
Tate.
Hands
that
are clean.
Real, man.
South Carolina. You can't spell SEC without secede. That's what they do. That's what they're up to. It's not us.
I mean,
not us.
I wore number 12 because of one album that I can't talk about in public anymore, and because of Leon Johnson, man.
Yeah.
Leon Johnson, number 12.
Second. Hold on. We gotta go, guys. We gotta go.
What?
I know we gotta go, Tate. I'm sorry. If you guys didn't get the subtext there, Joel is trying to say that he wore the number 12 because of the R. Kelly 12 Play album.
Do you
guys,
know?
Hold on. Forget about what R. Kelly did, bro. Yeah, okay. Do you know what kind of freaky ass nigga you have to be to listen to that album?
I was in high school, man.
Your number? Do you know what kind of freak nasty, hooligan, fucking do you know to make that your number because you listening to R. Kelly in the 90s? That's you're disgusting.
I'm not trying to justify the man. He's obviously disgusting. He where it need to be. Did you like the Bump and Grind remix though? Didn't you,
bruh? I'm not talking about none of that shit.
That was a good song.
What I'm telling you is that I didn't listen to 12 Play and then go shave my hair to be like R. Kelly and start dressing like him. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that you, as a sentient being, said this album is so hard that I'm about to I'm making my football number. That's nuts, bro.
I'm gonna tell you. I don't know why I'm doing this, but because I'm already wearing a ridiculous outfit. My first email address was JDA12play. JDA12play hotmail.com.
Go. That's it. That's it.
JDA12play.
No. Bridge too far. LSU in shambles. Tate, racist team. You, I can't do it. I gotta go. That's it.
Hey, I got a Leon Johnson Jets jersey for you, Joel, if you need it.
I would love that, man.
Yeah.
Big fan, Leon.
Yeah, Morganton, North Carolina. Shout out to him. Same hometown as Bumgardner, Madison Bumgardner. Little connective tissue there between North Carolina cities. Shout out to everybody for listening to Ringer Tailgate. We were having fun today. We broke down Brian Kelly. We also did not get the right history on the North Carolina Tar Heels, as we all know. Go do your own research. Go listen to Kelly's 12 Play.
No,
you don't
gotta do that. We gonna stop.
You don't tell nobody.
I'm kidding.
Don't tell nobody if you do it. Okay.
Keep it all to yourself. We're gonna be live on Saturday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific time. Come hang out with us. Live reactions and more. Gonna be a good time. Again, this is Ringer Tailgate, and we will see you all on Saturday. Must be 21 or older and present in select states for Kansas and affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit MD Gambling Helpline or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.